Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel, the Philippine Home-based Virtual Assistants YouTube channel. I would like to invite you all to please subscribe to our channel so that you will get a notification every time we upload something new. And today we're going to discuss the difference between objectives and goals. As I promised that we are going to discuss this, so everybody who's getting confused in using these words will have a bit of a clarity of how to properly use these two words. Okay, so I will not make a lot of long intro. I will go straight to our topic. Okay, so let me just share my screen with you. All right, so I did a short presentation so that you can visualize what I'm talking about. Okay, so let us now see the differences between objectives and goals. Many times, let me just cite a bit of an example. There are times when people try to write a resume. They normally put the item there like objectives and goals to actually showcase what they want or what they want to achieve or what their visions are. So this is something that we may mistakenly use these words. So I'm using the example of a resume because most of the time we put that after our name. So for example, Juan de la Cruz, underneath that, objectives. My objective for applying for this position, blah, blah, blah. Or sometimes people use goals. My goal in applying for this position, blah, 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 blah. So in other words, people are aware that these words are somehow very important for them to showcase or show people or show other people what are their vision. But then again, if we are wrongfully using it, it may be confusing. So let's start with the discussion now. So let's see. It has been said that goals without objectives can never be achieved, while objectives without goals will never get you where you want to be. So indeed, the two concepts are related and yet separate. Using both can enable you or the organization to be and do what you want to do. So meaning to say, these two words, they can go together, they are related, but then again, they have separate meanings or separate identities or definition for that matter. Okay? Objectives tend to be single achievable outcomes. They are concrete in statement and purpose. There is no ambiguity as to whether they have been achieved or not. So again, the goals and objectives, these are the two meanings of it. Okay, we have discussed goals a while ago, and now this is objectives. Now let us see what exactly are the differences of these two. Let's set like the examples, or let's define or identify what do you think goals are. Okay? Goals, it is broad in scope. There's no specific thing. There's no specific item. Okay. General intention or direction, intangible or soft, you cannot count, you cannot measure, abstract, can't be easily measured, validated, it is large in size, and it is a long term. Okay, while objectives, it is narrow in scope, it has a specific or precise details or target, it's tangible, you can touch it, solid, concrete, can be easily measured, can be validated. It has a holistic or it's a whole. It's whole. It's something that you can really see. You can really touch or feel. The means to the end, part of the whole. Often with milestones, it is short term. So we will identify or really understand this too if we set the examples. But then again, let's not forget goals. On the other hand, it says it is broad in scope. Okay, broad, when you say broad, it is wide. There's no specific thing that you are really targeting. That's what I want to say. Okay, then for objective, it has a specific or precise, or it is tangible, or it is solid. So these are the somehow examples of objectives, and the other one was the example for goals. Okay, now let's really see the difference between the two. So for goal, if you plan, it is a broad plan. For objective, it should be a narrow plan. So I will give you examples later on. I'm just showing this to you so that when you use the word goal or objective, you have an idea of why should I use goal and when should I use objective. Okay, if it is a plan, it should be broad. It's a broad plan. There's no exact time of target date. There's nothing. You just want to do an event, period. But with an objective, if you want to create an event, there should be a theme. There should be, there's details. Okay, action, generic action. When you create an event, you just want to create that event. It could be a concert, it could be a party or whatever. Here, an objective, it would be, for example, an event that you're going to organize. A specific action will be, the theme would be a party for a cause, which is a fundraising event. So meaning to say, there is a specific target you want to achieve there. Example, I want to achieve success in the field of genetic research and do what no one has ever done. So it's very broad. Genetic research, yes, there's an identifier there, but what exactly, how long? How long are you going to achieve that? How long do you see yourself that you will be achieving this? For objective, I want to complete this thesis on genetic research by the end of this month. So there is a target. So you're going to complete your thesis by the end of the month. Okay, so it could be, if you're working it right now for the month of March, let's say by April, because it's almost end of the month. If you want to set the target from April 1, you're ending it supposedly April 30. So you have the target in mind. Okay, measure goals may not be strictly measurable or tangible. It could just be something that you opt to do. For example, you want to lose weight. Okay, you want to lose weight. It's a goal, losing weight. But then again, there's nothing there that you're saying how much or how long are you planning to do it. Okay, it must be measurable and tangible. So time frame, it's longer. Let's say I want to lose weight, and I want to lose weight, let's say 10 pounds or 20 pounds in 3 months. So it's a longer term because you're working on it for 3 months. So on a daily basis, you have to achieve losing probably 2 pounds or something to that effect, because you're targeting 10 pounds per month, something to that effect. We have a target. Okay, for objective, that's the example for objective. Okay, but if it is for goals, you're not specifying something like a target for it. You're just saying I want to lose weight. That's it. Okay, but for objective, you're putting a timeline, you're putting a measure. Okay, time frame, like what I said, there's a time frame, longer term for goal, because it could be something that you want to do, but you are not setting the time frame or time target date for it. Okay, but for objective, it should be short to medium term. So for example, you want to do a fundraising event. The fundraising event should at least you are generating 1 million. Let's say you're generating 1 million fund for a particular project, and you plan to do this on the next 2 months. So in order for that, you will be planning ahead, like marketing, who's performing. So within 3 months time, you are going to generate that money. You're going to put up the event because you are targeting to create or to raise funds for a particular specific whatever project you want. Okay, so meaning the purpose toward which an endeavor is directed. So you have an idea, you have your goal, losing weight, creating an event, or organizing an event. So there is something there that you want to do. Okay, but for objective, something that one's efforts or actions are intended to attain or accomplish purpose or target. So you want to create or to organize an event within the next 3 months to raise funds of 1M. You want to lose weight, you're planning to lose weight within 3 months, and the target, your target to lose 10 pounds per month. So something like that. So a total of 30 pounds for 3 months. So again, it's tangible, it's measurable, it's attainable. SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound. So actually, this is the if you're going to use the SMART system, or method, sorry, the SMART method, this is what you're going to use. So for SMART, since it says specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time-bound, then that would fall under objectives. Okay? Because it says everything. It has a specific, it has you can measure it, it is attainable, it is realistic, and it has time frame or time bound. So it falls under objective. For goal, this could be just a vision. A vision you can say, I'm envisioning myself to become to become a doctor for OB-GYN, something like that. You're envisioning yourself to become a doctor, but you're not saying when. You're not actually planned. You did not even mention for what year, because if you're going to be a doctor, that would be 10 years, so probably 2030. So it doesn't have a specific item that you're topping on it. You're not discussing the specific measure or time frame. So again, the difference between goals and objectives: goals doesn't have time frame, it doesn't have the SMART method, it doesn't have the specific, it doesn't have the measure, it doesn't have the is it attainable, realistic, and time frame. But for objectives, that method falls in. Okay, so the principle, it is based on ideas, based on fact, because there's something that you can touch, you can prove that it can be done. Okay, so what do goals and objectives look like if they are different? So here are the examples. For goals, let me just move my camera. Number one, I want to be the best musician in the school. We will be the number one supplier of blah blah blah. I want to maintain a good knowledge of the profession. So that is part of a goal because it doesn't have a specific. Let me just see if I can move this one. Oh, I can't, sorry. So for objectives, I will just use a different example. There, it says we will sell 8 different units or number of units by June next year. This is something that you can target. Again, SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time frame. So you will sell 100,000 pieces of cell phones by June next year. So there is the SMART method there. These are the items you need to identify if it is an objective. Okay. So what is the real difference between goals and objectives? Simple. Your desired outcome, scope, and time frame. One is a goal, the other an objective. So the other one is just probably envisioning, just thinking about it, planning about it, but it doesn't have really a specific, it doesn't have the SMART method for goals. But for objective, when you say objective, it should have the SMART method: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time frame. So now, if you're going to write your resume, which one are you going to use? Is it goals or is it objectives? If you want to use goal, it should be, your example for a goal is, I would like to be the best salesman or manager for this company and be able to perform to the best of my ability or whatever, and use my experience as a salesman from my previous company. It's just goal. But if it is an objective, I would like to be able to achieve and reach your target of 1 million as required or as requested by the position or by the job description you're looking for, and I would like to reach 80% of your sales target every month. Something to say that you are achieving or targeting something. Or you can say, I would like to be the top salesman in your company or salesperson in your company by next year, and hit the targets every month and increase 5% every sales every month. Something like that, because you're giving them a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound or time frame ideas and facts. Actually, it's not an idea. It's something that you're really aiming to do. Okay, so again, the difference is, if you talk about goals, it doesn't have the SMART. To simplify, it doesn't have the SMART. So it's just probably an idea. It's something that you just want to do, but you're not really aiming for something on how, when, or how much. It doesn't have the measurable. It doesn't have the SMART method. Okay, clear. Goal doesn't have the SMART method. Objectives has the SMART method, okay, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time frame. So again, when you're using and writing when you're going to write your resume, choose the right word to use. It doesn't matter if you want to use goals. It doesn't matter if you want to use objectives, as long as you know how to use both of the two words. Okay, goals, it doesn't have the SMART. Objectives has the SMART. So remember, when you put a goal in your resume, because most of the time this is where people mistakenly use the word goals and then putting objectives, putting SMART, or using the word using objectives, but it's actually a goal. Okay, so don't mix them up. I hope that explains that. I hope you have a clarity of what's the difference between the two. All right, so these are things that it may sound simple for most of. Let me just stop sharing. And I use this as a reference from, let me just have a, well, you have noticed where I got the information. I just want to explain it to you guys so that you would understand clearly when you're using these words. I also had the same problem before because I never thought that there's a difference between the two. Now that I have learned it, I want to share that with you guys, because these are tiny little things that we know we understand the word goals, we know that we understand the word objectives, but then again, the definition of it, sometimes we confuse ourselves whether are we using it the right way or not. So to review again, goals that does not have the SMART method. Objectives has the SMART method. So when you write your resume, when you write for a project proposal, when you write for anything that you have to put the word goals, or anything that you have to put objectives, remember that objectives must have the SMART method. Okay, for goals, it could be just an idea. Right, I hope this is going to be helpful for you guys. Again, I invite you to comment below your feedback, whatever it is that if there's something that you wish to add from the discussion that we had today, please feel free to do so. And I really appreciate you joining me today and watching this video. And by the next video that I'm going to upload, again, I will be uploading something that we are commonly using words, or commonly used words, but sometimes we confuse ourselves in using it, or something that will also be helpful for others, not only for this, but there are a lot of things that we can really learn and we can talk about, and I would like to discover more things that I can share with you. It can really be helpful for others, and something that I can also learn that I would like to share with you guys. So again, please subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss any new notification if we are uploading something new here. And thank you so much, and see you again on our next video. Bye.